Hello, I'm Andrew Ogun. I'm Agent for Change at the Arts Council of Wales, the head of Black Lives Matter Gwent, and also a multidisciplinary artist specializing in poetry, music, and creative direction. Part of this process is obviously, as I've said, admitting and respecting that you're not always going to hold the keys or have the information, and being able to be open enough to then seek that out. And again, the seeking out is something organizations have always done, but seeking out in a way that's not extractive. Well, that's where the kind of the cream is, in terms of organizations sometimes will parachute or kind of use community knowledge and kind of disappear without it being a reciprocated process. So even in welcoming critical feedback, what are you giving to the people that are giving you your feedback? Because you're getting a lot out of that relationship. And so there needs to be a reciprocity. Otherwise, yeah, you're being extractive, and that kind of hierarchy, that paradigm, that status quo remains the same. And we have to consistently push back against that. So yeah, so not just about welcoming critical feedback, but you have to go further and say, okay, once we got this feedback, firstly, what are we going to do with it? And how does this relationship also benefit the people we're getting our knowledge and feedback from? And what can we do to consistently ensure that they're also getting something out of this process too, because we're getting a lot out of this process. And yeah, then that sense of defensiveness and kind of negative repercussions. I think, yeah, people do get defensive when you challenge them, because again, they're in that safety net, they're in that bubble in which they don't want to be challenged. They're in their comfort zone. But again, it's not about being defensive, it's about being open-minded, because a lot of the times these things aren't personal. No one is kind of attacking you because of who you are. They just want you to be better, and they recognize that you have the potential to be better, which is why they're even giving you the opportunity to. So it's not about being defensive, it's about actually recognizing that this is a good opportunity for you as an individual, for us as an organization, to be better, be a better version of yourself, and contribute to that arc of social justice that we're pushing towards. And then that accountability mechanisms, that's the most difficult. That's the most difficult, I find, for me, is the accountability element as an organization. Is that, we can all pat ourselves on the back and think we're doing good work, but it's the community at the end of the day that has to tell us whether the work we're doing has a positive impact or whether things are making it worse. We can hold ourselves accountable, but ultimately those are the people on the ground who feel things the most. So actually, how can we create a system of accountability in which the community can say, yeah, actually, we recognize that organization and they're doing brilliant work. And yeah, I think that's where the difficulty is. We are in the process of doing this, more pertaining to our investment review. And our widening engagement action plan, we are looking to create a results-based accountability approach in which kind of the community and the sector are the ones who are telling us whether this have worked or not our stakeholders or people already in positions of power or privilege, but the people who we're purporting to be helping in our work. So again, we've had to try and shift that power in terms of why are we evaluating our work. That's power kind of evaluating power. Actually, there needs to be a shift here in which the people on the ground, the grassroots, are actually the ones who have that say in terms of whether they believe this is good or not. Because a lot of the times then you're just doing two. If you think, oh, we think communities need this or need that, you're doing to them, not with them or for them, but to them. And again, we're trying to shift that in terms of at the very baseline is at least with them. Everything is co-created. There's not a sense of us just parachuting in and doing what we think needs to be done and dipping off. But okay, how can we create this together? And when this is done, how can we ensure that you have a voice to say whether this is something that was good or not, or something that had impact or legacy or not, in which we are not the ones calling those shots. And it's probably been the most difficult for me personally. The most difficult element of the work is that sense of accountability. When you're living it and experiencing it in the moment, it's hard to see whether it's having the impact, beyond kind of anecdotes or going to see things and being like, okay, it's nice to know I was involved in this and look at the impact. That's hard. So yeah, finding a way to kind of formally evaluate and kind of see the accountability of this process has been, challenging, but probably the most important element of the work, to be honest.